quite recently, in fact, I spoke on the show about the right to repair bill that was working its way through Parliament, designed to make repairing products easier and cheaper by shutting down the current loophole that lets manufacturers avoid repairing obligations. Now, the Economic Development, Science and Innovation Committee released their report today, confirming overwhelming support for the Consumer Guarantees Right to Repair Amendment Bill. Of the 1,250 submissions received, more than 95% supported the bill, and its general aims, fewer than 2% opposed it. Despite its strong backing, the majority of the Select Committee recommend the bill proceed no further, with the government's coalition parties, National, New Zealand First and ACT, ensuring it was blocked from moving forward. I spoke with Paul Smith about this, as I said, not long ago. He is from the Right to Repair Aotearoa Coalition, and he joins me now. Paul, good to talk again.
Good to talk again, Leah.
Hey, Paul, before we get to the results and talk about what the committee came back with, can you give us, for those tuning in, a quick rundown of what the Right to Repair Bill is all about?
Sure thing. So, as you said, it's a small step that we're trying to take to add some legislation to the Consumer Guarantees Act, which covers all of our consumer rights when we're buying and using products, to ensure that one of the options, should that product go wrong, is to get it repaired. At the moment, it's biased towards manufacturers and retailers being able to just swap them out to replace them or refund, and then even if it's just a very, very small fault. And what this legislation was attempting to do is to say, hey, no, actually, you've got to make repair an option as well. So you've got to, as a manufacturer, you've got to support repair. So you've got to provide basic parts and information to help people to repair products. And you've got to actually offer that as a solution should a product go wrong, and it's your obligation under the Consumer Guarantees Act to fix it. So yeah, it's not what you might call this comprehensive, huge right to repair change. It's just strengthening the ability to repair things that are already contained in that bill. It's just making it a stronger option.
Yeah. And how do manufacturers currently make repairing products difficult for us?
Well, the real simple way for them is to not make spare parts available. If you don't have the parts to fix something, even if that part is really cheap and easy to replace, there's no way you can fix a product. That's a really, really simple way. And that's before you get into a lot of the talk around product obsolescence and intentionally designing products to be difficult to repair. The easy way is just say, we don't have the parts, so we can't help you.
So, Paul, disappointing news from the committee despite more than 95% supporting the bill. Why do you think the committee recommend it not go forward despite all that support?
Oh, that's the $1,000,000 question, right? It's hard to say because they haven't released any of the detail behind their decision. The report, quite disappointingly, just says we looked at it, we considered it, we decided not to do it. So we don't know exactly why they chose not to support it. We can fall back on the same things that they've said during the first reading when this first came out, that there's a lot of noise around, it will make products more expensive. It will mean some products won't be available because it's too difficult to support repair, so the manufacturers just won't bother. Or it will be actually unsafe to give people information to help them to repair products. But whether those are things that still whether those are still reasons that they would fall back on, it's hard to say because those are all things that should have been discussed through this 6-month process and resolved. So it would just be nice to know. But I suspect they'll fall back on exactly the same arguments.
Yeah. Well, the opposition raised concerns that the committee process wasn't conducted in good faith. Do you think the right to repair bill was deliberately stalled?
I don't know. I mean, I can only go on my experience, having spent quite a lot of time along with 1,249 other organisations and
Yeah.
people and businesses putting a submission in, and then showing up to the committee to give an oral submission on that as well. And my experience there was good. I mean, it seemed that everybody, all the members of the committee were really engaged. They were asking good questions. So it came as quite a surprise to hear that that might not actually be the case. I'm hoping we'll hear more about that in the coming weeks.
Yeah, it's surprising to me that the current government, the coalition, National New Zealand First and ACT, were not for it. I don't know why. I thought maybe National might have. I don't know why, but I thought National might have thought differently. I am scratching my head as to why, they don't want to support it.
Yeah, me too. And some of the submissions were put in from groups that were actually quite a surprise. So we had a lot of federated farmers in the rural community coming back and saying, "Hey, we're the ones who are being really affected by this. We're the ones who are finding it difficult to access repairers because they're all located in main centres. So if we can make repair easier, we're the ones who will actually benefit." So the bill had a lot of support from a really diverse group of businesses, organisations, and sectors. It was mainly, and this is exactly what we've seen overseas when they've done similar legislation. It's mainly some aspects of the motor manufacturers and the electrical and electronics industry that come back and say that really oppose it, because they're the ones that are going to be affected directly. They're the ones that are making repair difficult, and they're the ones that are actually going to have to change. But it's hard to say why it didn't get wider support.
They can see, some jobs leaving because, if we can fix it ourselves, especially in the motor industry, golly, don't people like to fix their own cars, for goodness sake?
Yeah, and that's the amazing thing in Australia, right? And I think we mentioned this before, that the legislation there has just extended motor vehicle repair from the main dealerships to all the other the wider network of independent expert mechanics. So it's just said you can't just hoard this amongst your own authorized dealership. You've got to actually make that information available for other experts. So it's not even going to the extent of saying unskilled people like me can open up a car and tinker with it. It's just making it easier to access. And if you make it easy to access, it makes it cheaper for everybody as well.
I kind of had a little thought about this, why possibly ACT might not, or New Zealand First, was that they saw it possibly as more regulation for business. They hate red tape. That it's going to be more work for businesses to have to now get in or provide parts. This is they haven't said it now. This is not what I know from verbatim, but I just kind of thought maybe that's part of it. More businesses now are going to have to provide parts and it's more work for them. And I don't know. I thought that was something that I was trying to think, why would you not like to make it easier for Kiwis to fix products?